Pollination is an important process for the reproduction of many plants. Pollen is transferred from the male part of a flower to the female part of another flower. If fertilization is successful, male gametes will reach the female gametes within the ovary of the plant and produce seeds and fruits. A pollinator is an animal that facilitates this transfer of pollen. Pollinators can be insects such as bees, wasps, moths, butterflies, and flies, or other animals like birds or bats. Pollination is vital to both us as humans and to our ecosystems. Animal pollinated crops make up 1/3 of the food we eat every day. Without pollinators, many of the fruits and vegetables we love would never make it to our tables, including almonds, strawberries, apples, squashes, and many more. We'd lose many flowers, and with them the nectar, pollen, and fruits that so many animals require for food. One of the most important and prolific pollinators is the honeybee. The honeybee is a domesticated species from Europe that has been introduced to countries around the world. The demand for honeybee pollination is growing, but their populations are in trouble. Beekeepers have been seeing massive losses in recent years, fueled by destructive pathogens, habitat loss, limited food resources, and accidental pesticide exposure. There are many other types of native bees and insect pollinators that are very important too, including bumblebees and hoverflies, but there is little research conducted on these populations. Habitat loss is suspected to be the main culprit, though disease has also been detected in native populations. While there may be a number of issues facing pollinators, efforts are underway to protect them. Across the country, research is being conducted to understand the scope of the problem. Every year, more and more studies come out on the problems facing pollinators. If we know the problems, we can work to fix them. One thing that we've learned from research is that habitat loss may be the biggest problem for pollinators. Many organizations and private citizens are moving to increase resources, including food and shelter, for pollinators by planting patches of flowers. You may have seen pollinator gardens popping up around your town or city, providing the pollen and nectar that these insects need to thrive throughout the year. These changes aren't just happening in parks and in people's yards, though. Conservationists are recruiting farmers, ranchers, and other land managers to lend a hand. By incorporating flower plantings and working to prevent pesticides from drifting off of crops, these folks have the potential to make a big difference, particularly in areas with such high concentrations of agriculture like the Midwest. Ranchers and their cattle are even being used to preserve and enhance native grasslands, vital habitat for many pollinators. As a student, there are many ways that you can lend a hand to help. You can plant your own pollinator garden or help start one in your community. It's important to make sure you have flowers that bloom from early spring, when the first pollinators of the year are waking up, through the autumn, when the last pollinators of the season are packing their larders before winter. This has the added benefit of providing us with lovely flowers all through the year. If you or your family already have a flower garden or a vegetable garden, you can also help protect pollinators and other beneficial insects by limiting the amount of chemicals you use there. Many of the pesticides used to control for unwanted insects can have negative effects on good insects too. By applying only the necessary amounts, and at times when pollinators are not flying, you can help to limit these harmful effects on the bugs you want to keep around. Finally, as a young adult, one of the most important resources you can share is your time. Lend a hand to projects underway in your community. Volunteer with organizations that promote pollinator conservation. Call your legislators and let them know that you support pollinator protection. You can even choose to pursue a pollinator-focused career in science, land management, or agriculture. There's a whole lifetime of opportunities ahead of you to make an important impact on pollinators. Why not start now?